Hi guys, welcome back to Lemphalation. This is Jovita here, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my experience appearing for the Lantite exam, which is a mandatory literacy and numeracy exam in Victoria for all teachers teaching in the primary and secondary sector. So I'm going to be sharing my experience as well as different aspects about this exam. If you do find this video helpful in any possible way, please don't forget to give this video a big fat thumbs up and also subscribe for more such videos. And if you'd like to learn more about this exam and listen to my experience as well, then please keep watching. Okay, so firstly, starting off with what is Lantite. Lantite is basically a literacy and numeracy test for initial teaching education students, and you are mandated to appear for this test in order for you to work in any of the schools in a primary or secondary sector. And the Victorian government put this into place probably in the year of 2016, I believe. And it's basically a tool to measure the basic knowledge that a teacher is expected to have when you enter into the school or teaching industry. So now speaking about the similarity of what Lantite is based on, whether it's based on school curriculum or not. So to give you a general overview, in Australian schools the students have to appear for a test called NAPLAN, which is also a literacy and numeracy test, and they appear for these tests in the year 3, 5, 7 and 9, so grade 3, 5, 7 and 9, and they basically do these tests to assess their understanding, as well as based on the outcomes that the students get from these tests, the government is able to formulate its policies and curriculum for future students. So our Lantite test is really similar to the NAPLAN in the sense that you would have to prepare yourself up until grade 9 numeracy and literacy based questions. So now speaking about the preparation time, I guess this is very subjective to each individual. I remember when I began my course at Monash, so we were told about this Lantite exam during the initial phases of our master's degree, and we were also assured that it was a very easy test and you don't have to prepare a lot. It's very basic, and I remember most of my batchmates and myself took it very easy, but unfortunately it wasn't very easy and it wasn't very basic. So I'd say you must prepare yourselves thoroughly for both the literacy as well as the numeracy exam, because it isn't easy. I wouldn't say the level of difficulty is easy. Alongside this, I'd also like to mention a few methods that you could use to prepare for this exam. So ACER is the main organization that develops the Lantite exam. So if you go onto the ACER's website, you will be able to find practice tests for both the numeracy and literacy components. So you can also, alongside this, buy NAPLAN books or even find them online if you can, and practice papers or questions that are based on literacy and numeracy from the years 5 up to 9, because that's like the more difficult part of this exam, year 9 literacy and numeracy. So practice NAPLAN papers if you get them online, or even you can try sourcing out NAPLAN books in any of the educational bookstores. With all of these resources, I also used another website which was called IXL, and this was provided to me by my university. So this website gives you all the years of literacy and numeracy questions. So it goes from year 1 up until year 9, I guess, or maybe even further. But you can practice different questions, different components of the exams on this website, and it was really helpful for me to use this website because it gave me the idea of what kind of questions to expect, as well as how to rectify my answers if they were wrong, and what kind of formulas to use in your numeracy test, etc. So now speaking about the number of questions that you do get on this exam, so it's a total of 130 questions, which is the literacy and numeracy tests put together, but individually they are 65 and 65. So in the literacy section, you most likely would get MCQs, and they obviously will be comprehension based MCQs. So you'll get a paragraph to read, and based on the paragraph there'll be different questions that would be asked. So you'd get true or false questions, you'd get filling the blanks, you'd get match the following, all different kinds of questions, but obviously the difficulty level for each of them would vary. So in the numeracy section, you will get 65 questions, out of which 52 are calculator based questions and 13 of them are non-calculator based. So the calculator icon will pop up on your screen while you're giving the examination. You're not allowed to take a calculator with you, and it's also recommended that you spend about 90 to 95 minutes on the calculator section and 25 to 30 minutes on the non-calculator section. You'll also have a timer on your screen for you to see how much time is left, and you can plan accordingly. But once you click submit for the calculator section and move on to the non-calculator, you cannot go back. Also, you get 2 hours for each of the components, so that's 2 hours for literacy and 2 hours for numeracy. And as far as I remember, I think you can give both the literacy and numeracy on the same day. So you might have the numeracy in the morning and then an hour of a gap, or like half an hour gap, and then you go into your literacy exam. So you get that choice of choosing whether you want to do it on the same day or on 2 different days. So the next question is how many attempts do you get for this exam? You are allotted 3 attempts, which is what everybody does get. So if you don't clear it in the first go, you can rebook it and you can give a second and a third attempt. But if you do not clear it until the third attempt, your fourth and your fifth attempt will only be granted if your university gives you a special consideration for it. So the university will provide an official letter to ACER, which is the organization that handles Lantite examinations. So your university would have to provide the official letter to them stating that you are working towards achieving your required scores in this exam, and they would request to get you a fourth or a fifth attempt. Because if you do not clear these exams before you complete your master's degree, you do not get your degree certificate. And if you have a degree that is only specializing in primary and secondary, then you unfortunately would not get your degree. That's why I would suggest not to take it lightly, because this determines the whole of your 2 years of hard work. So you do not want it to go waste. So make sure you're preparing really well. So now coming to my most favorite question, which is the marking system. This was the most annoying part of this exam because it was a very vague marking system. It wasn't very clear to us as international students who were new to this country. We didn't really know how this exam was being marked and where were we lacking and how could we do better for the next attempt. But eventually we realized that they do not mark you on a number of questions that you get right. So for example, if there are 65 questions and if you've got 60 correct, you're not going to pass. That's not how they mark you on this exam. So this exam is marked on the difficulty level of the question. To pass this exam, you're basically graded on 3 levels. So there's band 1, band 2 and band 3. So you have to get a band 2 or above to pass this exam. So basically the more band 3 level questions that you get correct, the more chances you have of passing this examination. That's how it goes. So each question is marked on a different band level. So they take out an average of all the questions that you have cleared, and based on the difficulty level, they determine if you have passed the exam or not. The total fee for both the components, which is literacy and numeracy, is $196. And if you have to redo just one, then you'd have to pay $98 for each of the components. And yes, you can go to the center, which is in Melbourne CBD, and you can give the test online, and you can also do it from your home, which is a remote examination. So in case you live in a regional part, or if you're abroad and you're stuck somewhere because of COVID, you can do this exam remotely. So you'd basically have to log in all of your details and enter into the examination website, and you'd have to place a mirror behind you, and the examiner would be watching you throughout the whole examination just to make sure you're not cheating. So that was it for today's video. I hope this was helpful in some way. There were many people who were asking me questions about Lantite, and I felt I should do this video because it's something that I have gone through first-handed and I know how it feels. It's very, very stressful. If I could get through it, you can get through through it too. So if you did like this video and if you did find it helpful in any way, please don't forget to give this video a big fat thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel for more of such videos. Don't forget to click the bell icon right next to the subscribe button to get notified every time I upload a new video. And that was it for today. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Until then, peace and love. Bye.